Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome to the channel. Uh, Thank you for being here. If you're watching this video, appreciate it very much. If you enjoy it, do that thing where you click that like button and share it out and all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Today, I'd like to welcome a dear friend of the channel who's appeared on many videos and live streams with me, renowned road manager, Alan Grange, Big G. How are you, sir?
Fine and dandy, just fine and dandy here in toughing it out in Southern California. It's about 80 degrees today.
Yeah, it's about minus 80 here in the prairies of Alberta.
We're thinking of you.
It's the other direction.
It's absurd. It's ridiculous. You walk around, there's roses and beautiful gardens. It's something wrong. There's something wrong with the system.
So it's a flower child like yourself.
Oh, of course.
Indeed. Man. So, but we're basking in the freezing. It's sunny, but it's pretty cold, and it's going to get colder. But I don't mind. I don't care, because we can sit in here in the warmth to talk about music.
Absolutely.
Indeed, and I'm very happy you've joined me today. Of all the many shows we've done together, we've often talked about your eclectic collection of bands that you've worked with and seen back in the day, as we like to say. Some of the more, I mean, you had a penchant, there's a word for you, a penchant for progressive and psychedelic rock, did you not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even to this day, I tend to only hear the instruments. The vocals might get through eventually. I tend to listen to the instruments. And so, I've always had a penchant, as you say. My dad would have just called me awkward git.
A penchant. Anyways,
I'm getting a pension.
You were an awkward git, but it's the band. You worked with many very, very, very interesting bands, as we discussed: Van der Graaf, King Crimson, Gitz-Gerald, of course,
the legendary
Gitz-Gerald, but many others. And today we want to talk about a band that, until you mentioned them, I'd never heard of, and that band is Mouseproof. And I see you have an original poster.
That's right.
Mouseproof is music, and Mouseproof was a band you did work with briefly in 1969. I'm right in saying.
Yep.
The brainchild of this gentleman, and I should have heard of him before because he's from my hometown of Edinburgh, in Scotland. Gerry Fitzgerald.
Yep, that's him.
Yeah, the Gerry Fitzgerald. And so what we're going to talk about today is your memories of that time, and then we'll talk a little bit about the album Mouseproof, which you also turned me on to, and I've been able to listen to it a little bit since you mentioned it. This is obviously, it's like we're talking 1969, 1970 was the period for this band. There's another photograph of Gerry with twin-necked guitar, either that or it's very bad AI.
I don't know if it's a twin neck. It may be
maybe just another guitar sticking out the back.
It's a mic stand, just sits at an angle.
Well, there's something behind him that looks a bit like a neck. It's weird.
The end of the mic. The mic stand goes down to the cabinet.
So because he was a twin neck guy at times, guitar virtuoso and top-notch electrician as well, I believe.
Yep.
He passed away sadly in 2018. And without much fanfare, I assume. Here he is with Lady Judy, which I believe is Judy Dibble of Fairport Convention. I may be wrong because I don't know.
Judy Dibble was on the album. Whether that's, there was all these quirky characters. He lived around Ladbroke Grove, Notting Hill Gate, which was a kind of artistic, to use the one polite term for very hippie-ish,
Yes, indeed.
And, so she could have been a local character. I'm not sure if that's Judy Dibble.
I think it might be because it's entitled Gerry and Lady Judy. So it's probably, I just made two. I put two together and got four and a half.
Might have had a perm.
I got 33 and a third out of 2 and 2. Here's a later photo of him with a rather eclectic looking guitar.
Right.
And it's a fascinating tale of one of these musicians, incredible musicians, who just seem to be coming out of the woodwork in that era. Very hard to pigeonhole. You've got, this kind of crossing, and you'll know what I'm talking about, having been there and experienced it, this kind of crossing of rock, jazz, folk, progressive, psychedelic, the beginnings of the progressive movement, concrete music, music concrete, avant-garde, all just kind of coming together. And until I'd heard this album, I didn't realize you could actually put them all together in one album.
He did. Whether it works is another story.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Van der Graaf, very King Crimson in places, but there's
absolutely of the period.
And I believe he worked as a session man too, and he had an electrical business, and he was pretty good on that, and worked for a lot of record labels like Island, providing electrical gear. What was your first memory or experience of that, Gerry, and of Mouseproof? What do you recall?
The genealogies. It comes from Hartlepool, of course. Me and my mates all from Hartlepool.
Which everything does.
Everything good does lead to Hartlepool, So there was the drummer in the very, very, very first band I was with, called The Engine. He left the local band and he moved down to London ahead of all of us. And he was the catalyst for all of us going down there in reality. Because he came down and he was driving a truck. I found this out recently from him. He was driving a truck for the LEB, London Electricity Board. But he was still angling to be a musician. And he saw an advert for the drummer wanted for this project, Mouseproof. And he got the job. So he had his dad send him his drums down on the train.
Right.
That's wonderful. I mean, that's just been, I said to him last week, how did you get involved? And so Gerry Fitzgerald had his connections to doing sound and electronics for the studios, and he was meeting people. And he'd met this fellow called Rod Herman, who was a sort of a businessman, and he was funding Gerry. And he must have said to Gerry, I'm looking for some heavy music, because that was the Vogue, the Jeff Beck group type of thing. And that's what the new Engine was all about. It was like a 4-piece heavy rock thing. And Tony said, hey, how do you feel like coming down? So long story short, the band came down, I followed, Mal followed, and we all ended up in London around about the same time, mid-'69, which is right when Mouseproof was doing gigs. And so as soon as I landed down there, I would do a gig anywhere with anybody. I just wanted to do it. And Tony introduced me there. We went to some gigs. And Gerry was artistic. And I was just a rough and ready, still am, rough and ready roadie type from up north. Gerry was very thoughtful and canny. A
real musician as well, yeah.
He's a musician, yeah. And he lived in Ladbroke Grove, Nottingham Gate, which was the hippie.
He was a canny Scotsman, I like that.
He was. Very practical. We used to tease him about he'd make he'd use a tea bag several times over. And that's maybe type. But,
I mean, that's not what's wrong with that. I don't know what you mean.
Everybody did that, right? I mean, to be honest, I do that kind of thing too. Yeah. So he was my first contact directly with somebody that wasn't just from Hartlepool, that wasn't just a boogie blues player. He was playing interesting stuff. So I did about half a dozen gigs.
Yeah.
All I did was carry the gig equipment, drive the van, and I was just learning to drive. Yeah. And I sent you a picture today. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, I is it by email? I'll have to check it before the end of the recording.
Dormobile. These are a little short wheelbase van, and they were so weird to drive. And I was shitting bricks. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was very nervous driving to and from a long distance gig, which was Dunstable Civic.
Dunstable. Oh, here it is. Hang on. So I'm just going to open. Let me save this image, and we will show this. Yeah. We keep talking. Don't stop.
That was a big gig. The Dunstable Civic was on the circuit, and here I am, raw, fresh to the scene. I'm driving this funky little van with the equipment up to do the gig, the Pink Floyd with the main act. And every single minute was a new thing, meeting real rock and rollers, doing a real gig. And that's how I got my feet wet on the scene. And we did several. And then we do a couple of gigs in pubs, a lot of pubs at a music room. And then Ladbroke Grove, I think I'm forgetting the name of it. The Ladbroke Grove had a particular hall.
There you go.
All Saints. There we go.
All Saints, Ladbroke Grove, All Saints.
Birds, not the American Birds. This is the Birds that Ronnie Wood from the
Ronnie Wood's band. Yeah,
I was a big fan of them.
Yeah, well, Ronnie did some very interesting stuff pre Jeff Beck group. He was in some great stuff. The Artwoods with his brother and the Birds. That's a really, really neat van. I mean.
But you can see it's top heavy. It's a very short. There's a real overhang in front and the back, and it's steering wheel. It was like
drum kit. Is that a drum kit in the back?
Well, that's a drum kit, yeah.
I can see a Ford Anglia further up the road as well.
I know, that's a real period piece, that picture, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's neat. So this was your first, you were really getting into the business in a big way, early 69.
Oh, I had moved down there and I took it seriously. I mean, I don't want to make this program all about me, but I took it seriously. I thought, I'm going to be a roadie. I'm going to have to learn how to drive. That's one of the first things I did was learn how to drive, but I hadn't driven up on the motorways and stuff. I hadn't been out there, still learning, but it was, I can't explain just how exciting it all was. You'd have paid them to do it.
Sure.
You know, at the beginning in Hartlepool, the guy that owned the van did charge me and Mal for the first gigs until the band found out. We were that naive.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I get it.
You were like, oh, we got a gig tonight and a gig. You would just be there. It was almost like a privilege.
So Gerry and Mouseproof were a big part of your first few days then as a
very early
professional.
On, yeah, because I was a bit like, I was really nervous. I thought moving to London, we'd be moving into this clique where everybody knew each other and we're very self-conscious about our image and our accents, or at least I was. And so I was going to every gig. I mean, all my interests are on that sheet you just put up.
It's great that you kept these and you've got this diary. So this is November 1969. I did want to show this because it mentions Mouseproof specifically. So you've got the Soft Machine.
Well, my favorite.
Canterbury Sound, who I guess Mouseproof share some elements in common with.
Yeah.
Then so there's the All Saints Hall, November 11th, Arcadium and Mouseproof. I'm not sure I recall Arcadium, but and then I noticed the next one, the Marquee. Is that Freddie King?
The Freddie King? First guy, yeah.
Wow.
The Chicken Shack, probably the band, Freddie, what's his name? Chicken Shack band probably backed him up, or
Stan Webb
might have been his band.
Killing Floors. And then dropping down though further to November 17th, Dunstable Civic, Soft Machine, and Forevermore,
which is two of the guys from the Average White Band.
So that was your first encounter with those guys, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, but now an important one, and we're going to show a little bit of stuff from that one. November 26th, Dunstable Civic again, Pink Floyd and Mouseproof.
Yeah.
Now, have you got specific recollections of that gig?
I mean, I just remember the building. It was a cavernous place.
Yeah.
And I was overawed, to be honest. I mean, all I remember, there you go, that's the clipping I had.
Yeah, Mouseproof not mentioned, but they were there.
Yeah. So obviously Friars was another club in Aylesbury, and they were definitely on the scene, and they were like hippie-ish sort of promoters. I mean, they made money, but it was a kind of, they would have on eclectic artists. I mean, the whole scene at that time was all about experimentation and freedom of expression, and you know.
So Mouseproof were opening for Pink Floyd. Do you recall? Was this an all-standing thing, the Civic Hall, Dunstable, like a ballroom?
Like a big ballroom.
Yeah.
It's in a ballroom and an aircraft hangar, if I remember correctly. A high roof. I remember having a really high roof.
Yeah. Do you recall how the band went down, Mouseproof?
I remember very little about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have probably got polite applause because the Pink Floyd audience would have been open-minded, a lot of them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been like, you would sometimes open up for a band that there was just no reason for you to be there and you get booed off.
And I think the band at that time, as well as obviously Gerry, featured guys that went on to be in, there was a guy went on to be in Roxy Music. Yeah. And there was a couple of other guys who did go on to do other stuff later. And there was more guys worked on the album, which came later. But I think Judy Dybel was around at the same time. Was she singing with them then, or was that just on the album later? Okay.
There was like I think it was a 3-piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of augment. That recording was done the next year, so people would come and go. I did meet most of those. My memories is basically about just being brand new in London, straight there, and doing gigs. You know, I didn't know anybody outside of our circle, and thanks to Tony Turnbull, who's on the album, he got us all into that scene. So we owe him really for being the initial catalyst.
Oh, and yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable list when you look at this. You're getting down to 1970. You've got Ginger Baker's Air Force, but then the Temple, which I'm assuming is in London.
Well, yeah, it was the old. It was the before that was the Flamingo, the R&B scene with Georgie Fame and Zulu.
Oh, the
All
Flamingo.
so it was renamed the Temple for the
Right.
hippie scene. It turned into, but it was the same gig.
Because
Right
it's there's
Wardour Street.
yeah, there's Liverpool scene and Mouseproof. Although there's something written beside it which I'm finding it hard to read. Something about Cochise.
Oh, another two bands. I mean, there was a lot of bands on.
Right.
Cake and Cochise.
Okay.
It's a bit of a scribble.
Yeah, so I think that was the last mention on this page of Mouseproof. So I guess they moved on and you moved on, but that's just such good. I mean, I love the one at the bottom though, the marquee Graham Bond initiation with Terry Reid, the recently deceased legend that he was, and Time Box
like Pato.
With Pato and Ollie Halsall, who went on to be a Ruttall before he sadly passed away.
That's right. I mean, I got more pages. I had a page before that when I first got there, but the page is a bit ripped. I'm going to try and reconstruct it. And I continued the next year up until like the middle of the year. Yeah, but things were moving sort of fast in our world, in my world. It was just like...
Time Box were a good band, though. I mean, they've got a great version of Beggin', I think is the Four Seasons song, which Ollie played the vibes on. It was really nice.
Yeah.
So, that was your brief encounter as a roadie for Mouseproof, but then they went on, obviously they freed themselves from your shackles, and it was clearly holding them down, and went on to record their one and only album, which you introduced me to. I'm just going to throw up the overlay again, because this is the artwork, which is kind of neat.
You know, I just found out where the name come from. I don't know how deeply you've dug in.
You can tell me.
He was Gerry was on his travels somewhere, and they bought a harmonium, a squeeze box, I think.
Oh yeah.
And it had to be, I guess it had to be airtight in certain places. And there was a little sticker inside. Somebody said that this is Mouseproof.
Mouseproof.
If you put it in the storage somewhere.
So his mama didn't have a squeeze box that she wore on her chest.
That's right.
So the album. Yeah. They were offered, apparently Island Records offered Gerry a deal, but with no money. So he said, well, I'll go to MCA instead, who were offering some kind of money, even though he had a good relationship with Island. So they ended up recording this album in 1970. So let's take a little look at some of the artwork and so on. Let me just throw this up here. I'm going to throw it up. Throw it up. So this is the album is very collectible, as you would imagine, as it's a fairly limited availability for original copies from 1970. So you can't get it on Discogs and EIL and other auctions. So the original vinyl, hard to get, as he said himself, Gerry, that thousands of copies seem to go missing somewhere, and all sorts of shenanigans.
Well, that was a political thing. Apparently, in the States, he wouldn't change the lyrics to the one song, which is about the Kent State shooting.
I think it was May 4. It was May 4, yeah.
Together back then, but he was told that he might have to change the lyrics for the American release,
and he wouldn't do it. No. Yeah. So that was MCA, was an American company, I guess. So they were. So that would put the kibosh on American. Now John Peel championed this album, though, I believe, quite heavily, and there is eventually there was a. Well, then I like this. This is the gatefold of the album.
That's probably his pad. That's probably his flat. You know, players and turntables and.
Yeah, and you can see he was an guy into the electrics. But the first thing that came to mind when I saw this was Mike Oldfield. This is the same thing. It's like a one guy can play lots of things, has a very clear vision for what he wants to do, and is very artistic.
Yeah. I don't know whether Gerry smoked pot. He might have done. I don't remember.
Well, I think if you listen to the lyrics of Country Mouse on the album, yes.
But some guys had that anyway, you know. But yeah, he might have. I'm sure he was dabbling, and that was the culture. That was look, all the tablas and the little bazookies and tape machines on the. Everybody, people were creating machines that they were yet.
Well, and the album is very much like, and he said he did do some music concrete stuff because he was into the tapes and the electronic effects, but the song Country Mouse does have the chorus of "Stoned, I was never so high."
That's right.
So I think I don't know what he's talking about, but so then there is a CD release which you can get. I should point out there where you can buy copies of the CD in various places for various different prices, but Amazon, Discogs, other such places. So do go out and get it if you can. But it is also on YouTube. All the tracks are available on YouTube. Sunbeam Records. And there's a very nice picture of him behind the bars.
The cat's probably next to him.
Yes, the cat is next to him. And we're going to be trying to play a few clips from this album here and there. You know, we may well get copyright claimed. So be it. I'm not here to make money. This is just for fun. And I just want to take a look at this credits of the CD credits. And I do like the fact that they put the album artwork on the CD. So just expanding this, you can see the times it was, the song titles, things like Ashes of an Empire and Under and Over the Waterfall, Movement Lost in Twilight Zone. And there's such an eclectic range of sounds in here. The Country Mouse is one of the greatest country folk rock songs I've ever heard. It's got B.J. Cole on it and all sorts of other people who went on to become very famous. It's but there's also stuff that sounds like sax-driven stuff that sounds like Van der Graaf, King Crimson. There's very experimental stuff. There's beautiful progressive ethereal stuff like Opal Pyramid Drifting Over Time, which is probably my favorite track on this album.
Yeah, thanks so.
Gerry playing lots of the instruments along with Ian Andrews, BJ Cole and steel guitar on country.
We know there's all kinds of connections. You mentioned King Crimson, McDonald's and Giles. Judy Dybel, I think, was going out
Fairport Convention.
One of them. Yeah.
Well, she went on to be in Fairport. She was in Fairport Convention. You mentioned Rick Kenton, I think, joined Roxy Music.
Yeah.
Martin Rushent on backing vocals, who became the world famous producer years later. Martin Rushent. So you can just see the kind of a melting pot that it was, but also very Sam Gopal on the tabla, which is very prominent on one track. It's a very eclectic bunch of high-performing individuals, I would say. So it's a very beautifully constructed album, but very hard to pigeonhole.
That's right.
You just can't. I mean, each track is different. The best you could do, and I think that's why it kind of gets lumped under progressive, is that really that's what progressive rock did become, was a lot of the sounds on here. But really, it's almost avant-garde, pigeonholable.
Totally, yeah.
So I'm going to play a couple of little bits of music, and we'll see if we can get away with that. Some little snippets just to give everybody an idea of it. But I say, if you want to listen to it, you can go to YouTube, and each track has been put up there by the record company. So, so let's go back to this, and then I'm going to try playing, I think, a little bit of Country Mouse, because it's very different from the rest of the album. And if you listen to it, you'd think, my God, that's like the Flying Burrito Brothers. So here now, let me know if you can hear this. Good.
Yep.
So this is your very standard country folk rock, which does. So was I. So it doesn't really fit the rest of the album much. It's weird.
Not at all.
I was stoned.
Yeah.
There's that BJ Cole steel guitar. Other than lyrically, if you put this on any country station, they'd love it.
Yeah, and if you listen closer to the lyrics, I might not like it. Yeah.
Beautiful track. I absolutely love it. It's a very it's an undiscovered gem. But you would get the wrong impression of the album if this is the only track you heard.
Yeah, if they got airplay on the radio, people buy the album, they'd go, what the hell have I bought?
What the hell's the rest of it? So, I've never been so high. And then he gets the whole crowd singing at the end, but it's really nice. Beautiful steel guitar. So that's one of my favorite tracks. I guess my most favorite track would be the 10th track, Opal Pyramid Drifting Over Time, which is the most progressive, modern progressive sounding, I think, in my opinion. So it's got shades of that era of Pink Floyd.
I mean, the title sounds like something out of an H.P. Lovecraft novel.
It does.
Which I was really into. I still am, actually. Here we go.
Oh, you love the Lovecraft. You love the Lovecraft, don't you?
Yeah.
So, it's even got the heartbeat noises. I'm going to flip forward because...
Before Pink Floyd did it.
Yes, it's got the do heartbeat. You can hear it. And then this beautiful ethereal sound. It's 8 minutes 44 seconds long, but it's wonderful. Some really nice guitar. And forgive me, everybody that's watching this video, for not playing the whole track, but we've got to be careful on YouTube or we'll end up getting channel struck and all that stuff. So to me, this is another absolute undiscovered gem that's on this album. Hypnotic.
It is. See, I was always into that kind of repetitive building.
Oh,
stuff.
Me too. So I like a lot of electronic stuff because it does that. And then he's got the backwards, the backwards tapes.
You can just imagine the All Saints Hall in Labrador. Everybody's out of them now.
And they're all stormed off their...
They go down the street.
And then he gets into the... This sounds like Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying he's copying anybody, but it stands on its own, this album. So that's Opal Pyramid drifting over time, but I mean, there's a lot of other stuff on here that's very different from that. May 4 is the one about the Ohio, Kent State, Ohio, is more of a traditional ballad, folk ballad. It's quite straightforward with very, the lyrics are obviously relevant to that event. But you've got stuff like this, It Takes More Than a Clear Day to See, where he stretches out and his guitar skills. When you get into more avant-garde jazz territory. And you got to hear it live, some of these tracks, I'm sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to play the whole album or whatever. I'm going to go out and listen to it themselves, but A Movement Lost in Twilight Stone, for instance, is much more of the experimental music, concrete, lots of echo on the guitar.
Yeah.
So you're going to get you will not get the same thing twice in this album. It's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, and you have to put yourself back at the period, like this.
You do. This is what was going on. Everyone was
to assume the position on the floor, the lotus position.
In this political machine, this sounds like Van der Graaf.
Yeah.
You are the driver of people. Must use.
I just wanted to give people watching this a taste, if they've never heard the band, of what they're getting.
I might spark a few people to give it a listen.
Yeah, so that was so obviously we can't sit here and play all of them, and probably we've already played too much for the copyright gods of YouTube. But I just wanted to give people a taste of it so they can go out there and find it and listen to it themselves, and it is available in various places. So, and John Peel did enthusiastically support it. Original copies now sell for astronomical sums. That's true. If you want the LP, that beautiful gatefold, you're going to have to pay for it.
I don't have a copy.
But the CD debut is much more, you can get that for a reasonable price, the CD. Right. This, if I can just show, this is actually a website of Aylesbury Friars.
There we go.
I've got their website.
You found a poster there.
Yeah, this is the Pink Floyd Mouseproof gig.
Mouseproof get a name check. That's good.
They do, and it also mentions Rick Kenton of Roxy Music, who was obviously playing bass for Mouseproof at that gig, because it does say related Friars history, Roxy Music, Rick Kenton. So he was in the lineup at that time. But it's the ticket. And it's Dave Gilmour era we're into already. I mean, it's not Sid Barrett era.
Right.
So
Oh,
it's
definitely. By then they were beginning to change.
yeah, and there's the flyer. Again, the flyer doesn't mention Mouseproof. Does with other friars friends. And it was 16 shillings. It seems like a lot. This ticket value 16 shillings.
Less than a
Let me-
quid. Less
Let
than
me let me make it bigger. Let me embiggen it for you. 16 shillings, was that the going rate?
I think that might be about normal. I mean,
You
I
got to,
can't remember. A
yeah,
quid?
you got to see Mouseproof and Pink Floyd for 16 shillings.
Head sounds. But
Yeah.
head, is a name for a kind of a hippie attitude. A head. They
Yeah.
were,
Massive Lights by Optic Nerve.
nice people by
nice people.
I mean,
So-
fantastic.
So that's great that the Friars has got this curated website with stuff.
I've been on their website. I didn't see that. All right.
There's yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. There's no mention, unfortunately, of
Yeah.
Mouseproof, even this little newspaper article about it, which is a real shame, I think.
It could have been a late edition. It could have been. I mean,
Yeah.
people who view the show didn't watch the opening act necessarily.
Yeah, I think it's a real shame. But at least there is stuff about the gig there. So
Yeah, it's amazing
Yeah.
what you can dig up these days.
absolutely. So as you say, Mouseproof, the Mouseproof album can be purchased in various places. There's Amazon. If you go to Discogs, you will see that, and Gerry's other output, because there were other albums. He did stuff with Lol Coxhill,
Yeah.
because of Dunedin. So
Yeah, he was
very, very small, but
the avant-garde scene. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I used to go and see the Soft Machine, and they started evolving into meeting jazz people, and the whole period was this explosion of interactions and experimentation. It was wonderful.
so very, very small recording history. Although I believe he played in a lot of sessions for people, but an eclectic one nonetheless.
Yeah.
And is a good Edinburgh lad. He was. And I guess Mouseproof, the band stroke album not selling, meant he had to move back onto other things. He did have the electric business, as he said. His father was a musician, that he said, and he was also an electrician. He said, make sure you get something to fall back on.
Yeah. No,
Because
Gerry did in the after. I mean, he was always playing that later picture you showed. I don't know anything about. I never saw him again, but never met him face to face again. I was off and doing my thing,
I don't know. There'll be people out there who know his career very well and probably saw him many times.
Somebody, I mean, I go on websites and I'll say I was at that gig, I was the roadie, and you get the little interaction, and sometimes you just trigger somebody else to dig into it. It's amazing what people have, that they think, oh, who else wants to know about it? But
and I just
try to turn people on a bit.
I just appreciate the fact that you introduced me to the band and the album, and I've really grown to quite like the album.
I mean, my collection of records at the time, I've still got everything. I've still got bands like Magma. They were
Magma.
but they sang in their own language. So I mean, it was like I was into all this.
What are they, Welsh?
No, they were French, but they sang in.
French. See, I remember going to France on holidays as a kid and seeing Magma albums in the record stores.
Magma, the volcanic.
I remember that. They were very big on that. In France, they loved prog. They loved the Enid, and they loved stuff like that.
But there's a bit of anarchy in there. Their album covers are all like a militaristic sort of defiance. It's not just pop music in France. It was like that of a meaning. Van der Graaf and bands, we could do interviews. They'd be asking, "What did you mean behind this?" Oh, it just happened to rhyme with the other word.
That's right. Yeah.
A deeper meaning. No, it just rhymes.
It just rhymes. Moon, June, balloon.
Yeah. But the French and German bands, Can, Kraftwerk, they were all like meaning.
Oh yeah, it had to mean something.
A lot of English pop was just whimsical, quirky.
Well, I hope that through this video that other people are introduced to Mouseproof, that in the same way you introduced me to them. And I'd like to thank you, Gerry, for Gerry, Big G. That's my son. That's my son, Gerry. I guess you're my son. Big G, that's how he goes with G. He goes G. Granny, I meant to say. I'd like to thank you. See, I'm getting old.
Yeah. Oh.
I'd like to thank you for sharing these memories with us and for giving us your time.
Oh, anytime.
Yeah, and I hope we'll do it again soon. Check out our everybody. Check out our video on Gnidrolog that we did.
And
I think we did one. Didn't we do one?
Yeah, we did the Gnidrolog.
And Stackridge.
And
we did Stackridge, yeah. And we'll do more of these eclectic bands.
We should do there's a big interest in Van de Graaff Generator.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we should do Van de Graaff Generator, absolutely. So that'll be our next little project, and you can share your memories. And I've already got a lot of your photographs of that.
Well, you don't have to qualify everything. My memories are all about being a roadie. You won't hear much critical musical analysis, and it was just the period. I can't tell you how incredible it was to somehow get from Hartlepool, and then you get to London, and you're involved in something like this immediately. It was just like, this might work. Well, there's no plan. But
but that's the way the best things usually happen, with no plan. And the thing about Hartlepool is you had you may have had the concrete, you didn't have the musique concrete.
That's surprisingly a lot of musicians up there. In fact, on my last visit, I was just there in October, and I saw another fella that was on this album, Les Taylor, bass and vocals. He sang on the album. He was the bass player in the very first band I ever did, along with Tony, that drummer. I saw him for the first time. Yeah, I saw Les for the first time since about 1970.
Wow.
Ago. And he looked just the same with his hair.
Did he remember you?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. We just,
Oh, that's cool.
So,
very cool.
All of these guys.
Very cool. Well, we should talk about the engine sometime as well.
There's not much to tell, but it was my first gig. You want to hear about that? A roadie's first gig.
Yeah. So it's time to go because my dog is chewing the rubber chicken over there, and I can hear it starting to make a noise. So thanks again, my friend. We'll do it again soon. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed these recollections and memories and little snippets we shared from a golden era of British music. And we'll hopefully see you again soon. So take care, everybody, till next time. And I think most importantly, keep on rocking.